Hello, everybody. Welcome to Celebrate Southern Africa. Today, we are celebrating again across two continents. And I am sitting in the UK, and the lovely Yulia is sitting in Cape Town. But that name is not a South African name. So tell me a little bit about where you're from, Yulia, and how you ended up in Cape Town.
Hi, Dawn. Thank you for having me here. My name is a Russian name. I was born in Belarus, grew up in Russia, lived in England, and now I'm in South Africa. So I've got such an international portfolio of immigrating and moving into the country. But now I'm here.
You would make a great, like a female James Bond, this international woman of mystery and,
definitely
international. Where would be another place that you'd want to live, just out of curiosity?
I was thinking of visiting Iceland, but I'm not sure if I'm actually comfortable to live in there because it would remind me of Russian winter. And to be honest, like a few years ago, even when I was still in London, I was thinking, okay, can you see yourself moving somewhere else? And I didn't, and now I'm here. So you never know. Let's see what happens in 2 years again.
Anything can happen. When we're back to normality, who knows?
Exactly.
So Yulia, you've come from a couple of cultures, so you're able to take from your Russian life and what you grew up in, and then you lived in the UK for a little while, and so you were able to take from there, and now you are in Cape Town. And I also say that not only your environment, but the people that you are with have a real influence on the person that you become. So tell me, what about you is Russian?
Russian, I think, resilience, hardworking, and you have to adapt to things quite quick and easily. You have to, otherwise you won't survive. I think it was such a tough time when I was growing up, the 90s. And I think this is the time when the country was actually building itself up from the ground. And I think with people as well. So we have to be resilient. We have to adapt. We have to help each other. And I think that's why actually my parents pushed me to even learn English language from the very young age, because they were just like, we have to adapt in the future. We have no idea what your future is going to be like, but just learn English and then there you go. So here I am right now. So I think this is what I gained from Russia, not to be scared. And I think that's why I wasn't scared to actually move to England initially. And from England, what I think I've learned patience. People, they're more patient, they're kind, and I think just more in control of things. So they're not overthinking that much. So this is why I think this is sort of like British culture that I've taken on board as well. And when I first came in South Africa, what actually, of course, it's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful continent, and you're in Africa, it's completely something different. But I think the actual culture and a lot of my friends, I was just like, it feels like we're from different continents, but it feels like we're quite similar. Because I think because of the tough times, and I think this is something that brings people together. And
yeah, I think there's a sense of community when you go through something difficult, isn't there? And I'm sure that there was a sense of community when you were growing up in Russia, because things were tough. People supported each other. And I think when times are good, in some ways, people lose that sense of community because they become a bit more individual, don't they?
I think so. That's why, and I remember we had this conversation that when I was in the UK, especially people from Ireland, connect with people from Russia, connect with people from South Africa, because you've got something in the past that can connect you. All this hardship and like being on the other side of this hardship, you just connect people together. Like you said, the sense of community, absolutely.
I also think that people who travel and make a life for themselves away from their own lives and their own upbringing, there's something common about them too. They're explorers. So it doesn't matter where they all come from. They've all ended up, say, for example, in London, and they've come from Ireland, they've come from Russia, they've come from Germany, they've come from South Africa. And there's a sense of this brave adventurer that brings people together.
Yeah, it's true. And I've always been thinking, and I've only been thinking about it after I've moved somewhere. I was just like, okay, now you have to start everything from the scratch. Nobody knows you. But then like a year or two, and you're just like, oh, it's actually been fine. And I've done it fine. And I think when you find another, like you said, explorer from somewhere else, you just connect because you've gone through the same experiences together. So you establish yourself, nobody knew who you are. Yes, you've got friends back home or to another country where you live, but you've got no one here. And I think this is how you have to rely on those people. You have to connect, you have to trust, you have to help yourself for other people to overcome those challenges. So,
And what about feeling confident? Because it's a really scary thing when you go into a new community and they all know each other, they're friends, maybe their children have grown up together, maybe they've grown up together. There's a real confidence to walk into a room and feel, I don't know, just like you can just chat to them. And I know some communities are more welcoming. I mean, that's obvious. But do you think that moving from place to place has given you an inner confidence that you have to now walk in somewhere when you don't know anybody and just hold your head up high?
I think so, and plus I think it comes with experience as well, because like I think every time when you go to something or start something unknown, you always have this inner like struggle within yourself. Oh, will it be okay? Will I make it work? Or will I attract people? Will I connect with people? It's always going to be there. No matter how many networking events or groups you've attended, it's always going to be there. It's like the same experience when you start a new project or when you work with a new client, you start a new job. It's always there. But at the same time, with the experience, it will work out. Just be yourself. Just go there, shine, share your energy, and see who connects with your energy. And I think this is something like initially it's always hard, but then after you do it a few times, it becomes easier and easier. It's like when I've connected with you guys, when I came in here, I found South African Chamber of Commerce in the UK. And I remember one of the first networking events, and it's such a scary thing to see all these faces on the screen. Everybody knows each other. I'm sitting there with I'm Yulia from Russia. I don't even know anyone, but at the same time, we're all connected and we're here now. And it's been amazing and it's been great. And at the same time, it was scary, but it gave me confidence to go and attend every single networking event until we actually become friends and help each other. So yeah, it's been great.
But the great thing about Zoom, if you're uncomfortable, is you can go,
Absolutely.
My signal's terrible. I have to go.
Yep. There you go.
Whereas in person, it's not that easy. You can't just leave the room.
Escape.
So tell me a little bit about the work that you have done in the past, because you also are going through a real adaptation for yourself. You're adapting your life to a new environment, but you're also starting a new career. So tell me a bit about what you did in London and then how you ended up, the work that you now kind of exploring and going into.
So in London, I worked in commercial real estate sector, and I worked in property, even though when I first came in London, I started as an admin just to be an admin and just to explore the language and the culture. However, then I moved and been promoted to the manager, and I was actually enjoying my life and my position, and it's been London and it's been great. It was such a success for me, but then what happened, I fell in love with South Africa and South African, and then
that heart just sends you, your head tells you one thing, but your heart, you cannot stop. You cannot help who you fall in love with.
Exactly. And on top of that, COVID happened. And then I think it made a lot of people to reevaluate a lot of things in their lives. And exactly the same happened to me. And I've been actually looking into this for a long time. And my friends are always telling me, you're going to be good if you're going to be doing something by yourself for yourself. And I was always thinking, okay, I'm great, but what can I do for myself? And then I've just started to discovering this option has been a virtual assistant and working remotely. And I think the world of COVID actually showed us it's possible. You don't have to be an IT person to work remotely. You can be anyone, you can support any business by working remotely, no matter what you're doing, because like 90% of the work that we do is online now, even networking, which was always in person before. Now it's shifted online, where it's a bit more hybrid now. because you still need a human interaction. And that's why I've started exploring these opportunities. And now I've been just exploring them just to see if I can work like this. And there is a demand for this, and you can work like this. And yeah, it's been great to connect with people, being virtual assistants for years, because they're sharing their experience, they're sharing their energy, and it's been awesome. And yeah, this is my new venture. And yeah, I'm just here building up something more meaningful for myself now in a new environment.
It's just absolutely wonderful that you can be anywhere in the world and you can earn a living for yourself and use your skills, but also you are learning. What have you learned about yourself when you've started to kind of work on your own? Because it's easy to it's not always that easy, but to get dressed in the morning, get on a train, go to work or drive, walk into an office, and you know everybody and you know what your job is. But now you're creating something from scratch. So tell me what you've learned about yourself as you've moved into this working for myself area.
Dawn, you're absolutely right. Because when you're working for somebody, like you said, you just come into the office, everything's set up. If you've got a problem, you've got somebody to help you. In your own journey, it's more challenging. And I think what I've learned about myself, that actually when you're working on your journey, even though you're very passionate about it and you're very confident about what you're doing, it's more emotional because everything lays on you. Every single decision you're making, you're a decision maker. There is, of course, your family and friends can help you, give you an advice, your support group can give you an advice, but you're a decision maker, you're in charge. And I think this makes it more meaningful and emotional. What I've learned about myself, that I knew about that I can adapt to things very quickly after move to 2 countries already. And I've always known, okay, I'm a quick learner, I can do things quick, but I've learned things I've never even thought I'm going to learn. It's like, and I told you that before, I haven't had Facebook profile page for about 3 years. And now I'm doing my clients' social media accounts and I'm managing their Facebook pages. So what I've learned is just to trust yourself, trust your intuition, and that I'm a quick learner, even though I'm doing things I would have never thought I'm going to be doing. So yeah, so I think running your own business opens your eyes on yourself first. Yeah. Because you don't know what you're going to explore within yourself. And maybe I carry on exploring still, because who knows what I'm going to explore in the next 6 months. Maybe it will be something new quality, new emotion, new energy. Let's see.
Oh, how exciting. But also what I think, and what you said about that is, because you're the decision maker, and often I know for myself, I walk up and down the hallway and I think, okay, what do I have to do here? I don't know what I should do. I wish I had a sign. I wish I had someone, and I could say to my partner, Dan, what do you think? And he'll go, well, do what you think is best. I'm like, that doesn't work for me. So finding a network and a community to support you is vital. And whether that is in the same niche that you are working, because you can have similar conversations, or outside of that niche, because someone looking in from the outside from a completely different perspective might give you an insight that you go, oh, I never thought about that before. So finding a community sounds like it's probably one of the most important things that you should do when you set up your own business.
Absolutely. And I think this is what I've been lacking when I first started it, and I got overwhelmed, and it's too many online resources, too many online courses. You don't know the people you're following. And yeah, it was a bit overwhelming, and I felt like I'm alone, even though I wasn't alone. I was still having my friends and family. Yeah, they were not sure about what I'm actually doing. And because they were not sure, I wasn't sure about what I'm doing. But as soon as I connected with like-minded people, it changed everything. It changed everything. Nobody tells you what you need to do. Nobody tells you need to do this, you need to do that. People just give you their ideas. And like I love this word now, intuition. I just listen to my intuition. I just share it with other people, because even like 2 words from someone else can give you so much clarity about something you want to share about, like you said. And I think for anyone who's starting their own business or thinking about starting their own business, even if somebody's working full-time and thinking to start like a side business, the first point of call is just to find like-minded people, to find your tribe, to find your support group. And I was just blessed to find you. Yeah.
I feel like I need to jump out of a cake.
Yeah.
Yulia, what about Cape Town do you love? Because I know that there's not been much exploring because of circumstances at the moment, and it's been quite tough, and especially for people who are new to a place. But what energy or do you love the most about Cape Town?
I love how the city is connected to the nature so much. You've got mountains, you've got ocean, and I love even after the heavy day when you've got a headache and you work too much, you can just go to the ocean, you can sit by the ocean because that air just refreshes me. And this is what I love about it. Even though when I lived in London, we didn't live in town and we could still go for country walks, we could explore, and I loved the English countryside. It was brilliant. But in here, it's on your doorstep. And I think this is something that when I initially came in here, like I was just like this. I was like, oh my God, where do I go? It's beautiful here, it's beautiful here. So now when living here, I must not forget how beautiful it is and that I should actually just take these benefits from the nature. So even though it's a city, it still helps you to be connected with nature because I love being connected with nature. I love walking, I love ocean. And this is where I reset myself and actually think about new ideas and things. And yeah, this is what I love about this place.
Now, what I also you told me recently that there was a wine farm that was that put on a Russian event, and tell me about that because that's quite wow. That's so interesting.
I know in the middle of Africa, you have this wine farm owned by somebody Russian. So we were invited to go to a wine farm, and I said, okay, no problem, let's go. And then our friend said, yeah, it's a Russian tea experience. And I was like, what do you mean Russian tea experience? In South Africa, Russian tea experience. And then, yeah, it's with this thing called, maybe someone knows, samovar, like a metal thing for tea that they used in Russia in old days. And then you've got all these South African men coming out with traditional Russian food, explaining how it works. And I was just like, yeah, we definitely came here for experience because I've never seen anything like this ever before. So yeah.
That's fantastic. So what kind of food is real Russian food that you would either eat in Russia or would be like a signature that you would have at a Russian experience? What kinds of food would those be?
I think it's all different times, and sometimes it's made with Ukrainian cuisine and Eastern European, quite similar. So, for example, the beetroot soup called borscht, and it's red in color, and it's from Ukraine, but at the same time we're making it in Russia. Or like pancakes with caviar, that's classic. You just picture somebody is eating pancakes and caviar. So yeah, but I think it's quite similar to Eastern European cuisine. Yeah, definitely.
I tasted in Russia, it was like a pastry with cold what's it, cabbage.
Yes,
So
pierogi.
what is that? It's like
just a
like pastry with cold cabbage in it.
Yep, that's called pierogi, and I think they've had it in here, but they had a little mini one.
Oh no, I didn't like it at all.
No, not for you. Yeah.
And I had a tour group with me, and we'd gone into the home of this lady who couldn't speak any Russian, and we had a young a Russian student who was learning English at university as the translator. So everyone was being very polite because it was in her home, and she baked all these lovely things, and we all sat down, and I tried to encourage them all to try the food, try this, and I bit into this, and I went, oh, that's lovely. And I was like, thank goodness I did some drama when I was at college because I really needed it at that moment. You should really try this if you like cold cabbage. But it is very different, and it is, I think the climate really dictates the kind of food,
I think so.
More seafood when, in warmer climates, and also more seafood and salads and stuff when you're at the Mediterranean. And then as you go into places that are colder, the food seems to be a bit heavier, just to warm us up, I think.
Exactly. I think this is how it's cooked. Even the salads, it's the salads always with mayonnaise. There is a lot of meat. Yeah, it's very heavy, the food is there. But
Yeah.
what do you expect when you've got a winter with -35 sometimes? So yeah.
Yeah, I would just stay indoors and eat all day. That's kind of what I would do. My excuse, I have to stay warm. I have to keep
Yeah.
eating. So Yulia, what are your plans now for your business? Is it global domination, or are you are you hoping to expand to have your days more full, or are you hoping to expand it? And of course you don't know, because the future is exciting. So you can create whatever you want to create, but kind of now, what are your plans?
Well, my plans just to work on the relationships. And I think for me, my goal is, yes, the business give me this freedom of being location independent, but I'd rather focus my attention on 2 continents, which is the UK and Africa, or maybe even businesses operating in both countries, because this is somebody I can support the most. And I've been doing some Russian translations as well, but it's very niche and it's very like just from my close network for now. But in terms of just virtual assistant and PA assistants, I think like my ideal goal and a vision just to support businesses operating in both countries, because, and this is how actually how I've come across South African Chamber of Commerce, because I was thinking, let me just explore opportunities if there are any businesses operating here and there. And then there are loads. You just don't know about this world because you're just not a part of it. And now I'm part of it, and I'm supporting businesses already. I'm ready to expand, and let's see where we go. But yeah, that's the plan for now.
Very exciting. Now, one of the things that you do very well, and I know that you enjoy, is you enjoy writing blogs. Tell us a bit about the kinds of content that you have on your website, because it's quite an important element of your business. So tell us a bit about what you've been writing about, and where people can find more about your blogs.
I'll tell you about how it all started. For me, the blog was just like something I've never done before, a few months ago. But then it's just, I started to enjoy it naturally after I've just understood how to actually work it out. And what I've started blogging about, it's just to cover like basics of what the actual virtual assistant is, how can you onboard one, why do you need one, who is a virtual assistant, how do you work with one, because those are all the questions I've been receiving from my family and friends when I told them I'm starting my own business and this is why I'm doing it, and nobody could understand what exactly I'm doing. So that's why I was just like, my blog can be just a page where people can get all this, so I don't have to repeat myself. And if somebody has asked me, even like just for an advice, Yulia, how do I onboard a virtual assistant? I can always refer them to my website just to say, just read through this blog. So it's more educational, and I'm working on actually just describing how I'm working on certain services. So for example, social media management, Facebook pages. And I'm not doing it as if, okay, I'm doing X, Y, Z. I'm doing it. Why do you need this? And how am I doing this? So as a business owner, or if somebody who's just considering having somebody to help with the Facebook page, you can see if it is something that you need for your business. And I'm just planning to do the same for every single service I'm offering right now. So at least there is more like educational material over there for the people to be 100% sure if this is something they need for them. And it's all on my website, and I've got a page called just a tab called blog, and this is where they all are. Like I told you, I've never thought I'm going to have a blog myself. I was thinking I'm just going to outsource someone who's going to write it for me, but no, it's me. And yeah, I'm enjoying it really much, thanks to you. Yeah.
Tell us what your website is so that people can go and find it.
So it's yulia-iorganize.com. Very simple, Yulia I Organize, because this is what I'm good at, I believe. So yeah, I'm organizing chaos in somebody's business, lives, files, anything you can think of. This is like I love to do that.
And it comes naturally to some people. And I bet you've got very tidy cupboards and very organized clothes.
Yes, but like as an instance, the other day, I've just opened my wardrobe and I can see all these clothes. It's neatly folded in there, but I had a problem. I didn't know what to wear. So Dawn, what I did, I just threw everything on the floor. I put half in the recycling bag just to give away because it doesn't serve into my life right now. I don't wear it. It's just laid there. And if I've got a question, I've got nothing to wear, which means it has to be reorganized. So basically, I've already organized the wardrobe. So this is something I do for fun on my weekends.
Do you know, when I was a child, I did the same. I'd open the cupboard and I'd throw everything out on the floor. It would be like knee deep on the floor, but then I'd pack everything away where it needs to go. That was my kind of system. And I still do that. I still will empty out the whole chest of drawers onto the bed and pack everything away neatly again. And if it doesn't fit or I don't like it anymore, or like you say, I haven't worn it, then bam, it's got to go.
Yep.
I also have I have a maybe pile as well, which is something I know I should be getting rid of, but I'm not sure if I want to let go just yet. I think that's cheating.
Yeah.
So Yulia, tell us, so what social media? You're on Facebook, Yulia I Organize, and where else can people find you?
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm more sharing and connecting with other professionals, even virtual assistants or any other business owners, just so we can share experience. On my Facebook page, this is what I've created while I was doing like an actual Facebook course. And now I'm enjoying just doing a Facebook page and doing Facebook pages for my clients. And on Instagram as well. It's good to be everywhere. You don't know where you're going to connect with great people. And yeah, it's social media for being social.
It is, absolutely. I totally agree. Now, before we go, there's one last thing I want to ask you. Besides your family, what is the thing that you miss the most from Russia?
Family and nature. I'd say Russia has got unique nature, not the winter nature. I'm not sure about the winter nature. I'm not sure if I'm actually able to handle that cold right now after all these years. But when I think of Russia, I think about my family and I think of summer nature and how beautiful it is in there.
Fantastic. What do you miss about London?
About London, when I say London, the only word that comes to my mind, opportunities. And it's true. And I think if you've got an inner drive within yourself, if you're hardworking, London gives you opportunities no other place can give you.
Yeah, it's a fascinating city. It's wonderful. But
you're
in the mother city, which is our mother city, and it's interesting that you make the connection with Mother Nature and our mother city, because she does have a tight connection. Yulia, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and I wish you the best of luck, because I know that you're going to make this work, and I know it's going to be hugely successful. And we also look forward to seeing you on Friday, the 13th of August. Yes, it's a lucky day. Friday the 13th is lucky for us, where we're going to be celebrating women. And Yulia is one of our speakers at the event. So please, please find the information wherever you're watching this video or you're listening to this podcast, so that we can, spread the word. It would be wonderful to hear more about your talk. And you're talking about adapting and how the skills that we can employ when we're adapting to different circumstances in life. Is that right?
Exactly. And I think my actual story, my whole story of moving, of adapting, of starting a new business, of starting a new job has actually just given me an inspiration to actually do this talk and just to do this workshop. So it won't be just a talk or presentation. I'd rather have an interaction between us in the group where we can just reflect on the actual being adaptive, do some exercises, do some fun activities, and just to reflect on what we can change going forward. And because there are loads of tips and tricks, how to expand your comfort zone, how to stretch your boundaries a little bit, and just to reflect how it can actually help us to achieve something bigger in a bigger picture. So this is something I'll be focusing on, and actually 13th of July, so it will be in a month's time. Exciting.
It's exactly a month's time. So it's a perfect introduction to our Celebrate Women series. So thank you very much, Yulia, and we will chat, I'm sure, very soon.
Thanks, Dawn.
So from Cape Town, bye-bye.